Hi everybody, Brian from Steeda.com. Here today spotlighting our drag race K-member for the S550 GT Mustang, as well as the Shelby GT350, GT350R, and GT500. At Steeda, we've always been firm believers that weight is the enemy of performance. So here comes our lightweight drag race K-member. Now this is a hardcore race piece. It can be driven on the street, but understand this is considered a competition part. Now the lightweight bits. This will save over 27 pounds as a straight swap to the factory K-member. So that means you take the factory K-member out, put ours in, you are saving 27 pounds off the front of the car. This is important because it allows you to add ballast to other places to the car to balance it out and get your weight distribution exactly the way you want it, or to offset the Helion twin turbo kit you've installed, the Vortex supercharger kit you've installed, or the Whipple supercharger kit you've installed. This will help offset the additional components that are now sitting over those front wheels. Now, even though we specify this as a hardcore race part, we know that most of you are still driving the cars on the street. In fact, for some of the race classes you're competing in, you have to be able to drive it on the street to make sure that the car, well, is street driven. So, in comes our K-member and many of its advantages. One of those being that we've retained all of the factory mounting points. This means that when you're driving your car, it's not going to feel like a wet noodle. It's not going to feel like it's weaker or compromised. In fact, you're going to have a greater sense of confidence because this K-member is in fact stiffer than the factory unit despite being lighter weight. Going further into the weight savings, if you add a Flaming River manual steering rack, you're going to save even more weight. And despite the fact that we have provisions for the factory sway bar, if you're getting to be more dedicated toward drag racing, you can remove the front sway bar for even more weight savings. Building on that further, our K-member is compatible with the factory engine mounts as well as our Steeda adjustable height engine mounts. And since you know you bought a hardcore race product to go racing, we've made some other provisions to this. One of them being the tie-down hooks right up front. This makes it nice and easy to tie down the front of your car, whether it's in your trailer or pull it back from the end of the strip or around the paddock area to keep the engine nice and cool. Again, we were thinking forward for you. And it goes further because again, great is never good enough and fast as well, never fast enough. Here we go. We've also set it up so that your lateral links have multiple positions for mounting. What this does is it will widen or narrow the track width up front. This means if you are going for a more aerodynamic tuck or running an offset wheel to accommodate a skinny tire, you can set it up the way that you want it. Now we do recommend adding our bump steer kit to this setup to be sure the front end of the car is dialed in. By this point, we're certain you've noticed a couple of things. One of them being this little red button right over here. Go ahead and click that and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed the content of this video, please click like and share with other enthusiasts. Now, we know that you have for sure seen the boxed out sections and gussets that we've added to this K-member to add strength. As noted, this is a hardcore race piece. We're very proud of it. We spent a ton of time developing it. This thing had countless passes on our record-setting Silver Bullet. We wanted to make certain that not only was this a reliable piece, but also one that would benefit you. High-speed stability and the strength in case you stand those front tires off the ground, and we're going to show you some of that. Now, we're not the only ones. Some of the big horsepower guys out there, including Lund Racing, are utilizing this K-member for its strength and lack of weight. It also gives you a lot of room if you're running naturally aspirated like us and you're running long tube headers, plenty of room there. And for those of you running a supercharger setup with a front mount heat exchanger or like a Helion sleeper kit that runs the turbos right at the back, look at all the room you have to work with. Our K-member is a direct bolt-on and doesn't require any permanent modifications to the car. Now we do recommend professional installation. But one of the most important things about this, we mentioned that great is never good enough and fast, well, is never fast enough. Well, I tell you what, this is very important to us. We proudly manufacture this in the USA at our Valdosta, Georgia facility because speed matters. If you want to learn more about this and many of the other great products that we offer for the Mustang and other Ford vehicles, visit us at Steeda.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media and most importantly, have a great day.